Hello, so welcome to the class summary video for our asynchronous class for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. So a heads up that this is essentially your homework for these 3 days. And then the week after, from April 3rd to April 11th, will be spring break, so no school. And when we come back on Monday, April 12th, this will be our new bell schedule, right? So hopefully this helps you out. So, our goal for today is to talk about okay, as we're designing a test to figure out which ion is messing with our patients, how do we do this and how do we create this test? So, just to recap from the past couple of lessons, we've learned that we need ions, like from Gatorade or just like salt from our food, in order to stop ourselves from cramping. And now we know that ions are just elements that either have a positive or a negative charge. And this just means that they are losing electrons or they gain extra electrons. And that's what makes them an ion, right? So these are just elements that either have extra electrons or are losing some electrons, right? So our goal is to figure out, okay, how do ions relate to the periodic table? We know that they're foods that we consume, and we know that they are atoms that relate. We know that atoms are ions whenever they lose or gain electrons. But if we're trying to figure out, okay, which one of these five ions is my patient or me missing or have too much of, right? Which one of these do I have too much of, or which one of these am I missing? One of the first things that we can do is we can draw your blood for a quick blood test. And when we do this blood test, we're trying to figure out okay, do you have these ions in your body? And this test is a little bit more complicated when you're reading it because it requires you to understand patterns that we want to figure out through the periodic table. So, before we can talk about what this test is, we first need to understand how this periodic table works and what are some patterns we can identify on the periodic table. So, to do that, we're going to work on our homework, which is actually our classwork and homework all rolled into one. So, first, you're going to go onto your Schoology page. You might see it on the upper right hand side, but since I'm filming this a bit early, if you can't find it, it will also show up on your MAR 31 to April 2, Wednesday to Friday class materials folder. So, if you open that one, go ahead and click on homework. So, when you click on homework, I'm reminding you make sure to read all four of these steps. All right, you're probably watching this video linked here right now. And the first thing we're going to do is to complete our classwork because I want to see if you can figure out the patterns of how ions are organized in our periodic table without me teaching you anything, just like we did earlier in the week. So go ahead and click on next. And just like before, I have help videos to help you identify the patterns for all of these particular ions, right? So each section that you click through should have a video. The next section that I have listed, I don't think I linked the video for you, just randomly putting answers, so I might not be correct. Right. So here in this section, it's kind of blurry, but I'm just having you notice the columns, right? So notice that column 1 has these particular charges. Column 2 has all of this charge, 2 plus. Column 3 will have a charge of 3 plus, so on and so forth. But don't worry if you get these wrong, because I will go over them in detail in Nearpods 4.5 and 4.6. Right now, I'm just putting in random answers. And then the last section, section 3, will be listed here. right? And when you're done with this, go ahead and complete Nearpod 4.5 and 4.6. Don't worry about sharing out when the timer ends. So your next two Nearpods, 4.5 and 4.6, are listed here. As always, make sure to take notes on all the items in red and to answer all of the questions at the end to get full credit. And if you don't remember how note taking works for this class, feel free to watch this video. Okay, so once you've done the Nearpod lessons, you are on to step 4, completing your launch. Right, so your launch is linked here. It's just to check in to see if you understand. And again, don't worry if you get certain things wrong. You can retake this launch as many times as you need in order to get a score of 7 out of 8. I'm going to let you read the rest of the directions on your own. Right, so when we come back from spring break, I'll check in with you on these 2 lessons, and that's pretty much it for these next 3 days, right? Additionally, if you're not happy with your grade right now, by clicking on grades on the left-hand side, feel free to work on improving your grade in this class by following the directions on your main Schoology page that says how to make up missing assignments here on the right-hand side. So if you're not happy with your grade, you can also do a little bit extra over spring break or during these next few days to make up for your grade, right? Or to improve your grade. For your homework, you don't have to do everything all in one day. Feel free to split it up between the 3 days, or if you just want to get it over with, you can finish it all on this day. Totally up to you. Okay. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at qqan@slusd.us or by clicking on this. Right. I would be happy to answer your questions. Have a wonderful spring break if I didn't see you on Tuesday, and I'll see you a week from now. All right. Goodbye.